Well, I woke up today and I said, shouldn't be that difficult. I want to go to the barn and take a look at some horses. GW Chrome had cut himself the other day, and I said, I want to take a look at him, see how he's coming along. He seems better. I'm going to jog him tomorrow. I said, video shouldn't be too tough today, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Some horses race good, some horses didn't. Same as some weeks. We had a couple little injuries that had to be talked about, and where we're racing the horses, the fairs, obviously the sales coming up, and I got thinking more and more and more and more. Now it's 3 o'clock and I'm just getting to the videos because I had so much I want to talk about. I'm going to cut it up. There's no point in talking about two things. We have some horses we are entering in a sale, dispersal sale Wednesday night on Hoofbid. 6 horses that are going in there. Will we sell them? That will be dependent. I'm not giving them away. But there's no point talking about that sale and the preparation that went into how do we arrive on selling those horses. There's no point talking about that in the opening, so we'll do a sale portion. I'm going to 3 farms here in Ohio on Tuesday to look around at some babies. Cool Winds, Hickory Lane, and Steiner Stock Farm. The reason that is on Tuesday is because it's up I don't even know, east, west, I don't even know what to say. It's up there, it's right of here. It's 2 hours from Northfield, it's 4 hours from the Meadows. Monday morning I have to get up. I have to get up at 7:30. I'll set my alarm. I'm going to go to the farm. I want to train Rose Run Why Not last trip. Now, I went 1.5 miles with Rose Run Why Not and Gray as a New Red the other day. They've been swimming, they've been jogging, they've been training, but I wanted to get a sense of how ready they are to go, right? How ready are they? You go 1.5 miles with them, let them scoot the last half, and you can tell which ones are ready to rock and which ones aren't. So Rose Run Why Not, 22 next half and 13 last half and 103 in the jog cart. She was good, real good, just exactly how I remembered her. So we're going to put her in the bike and go 1 mile and 2:09, 2:10 tomorrow, 2 trips. Then I went with Gray's a New Red, same thing, 1.5 miles, 20, 14 last half and 4 and a bit, 5. She wasn't quite as rugged feeling as Rose Run Why Not. Now, in fairness, Rose Run Why Not's a bigger, stronger filly. So they both probably needed that trip. We'll go 1 mile and 2:12 with Gray as a New Red tomorrow. I'll go in 2:09, 2:10, maybe 2:08 with Rose Run Why Not, but I suspect she's going to feel real good tomorrow. So I'm really excited to get that out of the way tomorrow morning, but I have to be done by 8:45. I have to drive 2 hours to the Meadows. I'm going to go last trip with Arctic Force, who's going to race next Saturday. And then Tim had asked me to go with one of his 2-year-old trotters just to see what I thought of him, and I'm happy to do that. So I want to be at the Meadows for 11-ish to go last 2 trips because I have to be off the track before I think noon or 11:45. So that's my Monday. Then I'm going to race all day at the Meadows. 4, 5, 6 horses, something like that. Going to get in my car. I was going to stay over, and I said, no, it makes no sense. I'm going to get in my car all the way to there. Up around the Findlay area, I think. So the reason I'm doing that is we're racing at a fair tomorrow at 4 p.m. The Napoleon Fair in Henry County. And within an hour of that are 3 breeding farms. I don't know if I'll have another opportunity to get up that way, so it's 2 hours from here. So I know it's on the way to Toledo or drive along the lake and whatever. I'm going to Hickory Lane Farms first to look at some babies. Then I'm going to swing by Steiner Stock Farm, go to Cool Winds Farm, and then I'm going to go to the Napoleon Fair, but I want to start it early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning or so. So there's no point I'm going to drive the 4 hours from the Meadows to the Findlay area to stay overnight there and hit those farms in the morning. So Tuesday is going to be a big day for me. Wednesday night, we have a number of horses racing. Now, the sale is going to be Wednesday, starts at 7 p.m. Emerald Miss is in the sale, although I'm a little leery of what I saw. I was happy with what I saw the other day. So although she did tie up a little bit, so it's a little unfair to get a fair gauge of how she's going to be on Wednesday if she's completely outmatched. And I feel that it was just the fact that she was outmatched, then she'll stay in the sale. If not, we may keep her. But Emerald Miss is in the sale at 7 racing at 6 p.m. at Northfield Park. We have 5 other horses in that. You can scroll down to the sale portion. I want to talk about why they're in the sale, who's in the sale. I guess I can tell you who's in the sale. In the sale, here it is. Sunshine's Finest is in the sale. Beach Bum BB, Emerald Mist, Frontier Cruise, Inland Beach, and Sunshine in Shade. A number of those horses I probably don't explain why they're in the sale. They just aren't racing well. Emerald Mist was a tough one, sticking point. Inland Beach, another sticking point. Just tough to find classes for those horses right now. You know, when I call Mario and say, what do you think of Inland Beach? He likes her. Everybody likes her. She's a likable filly, and what people have to understand is the year of the pandemic, 2020, it has really changed the landscape of racing. It's not as easy to get in to go this summer because everybody's ready. Right now we could say, well, if you wait, and I can almost guarantee you, if you wait till the fall into the winter, racing's going to be really cheap in a lot of places. And it's going to be easy to get in. But to get to November, our clients are going to have to pay 3 months of board bills on these horses. And I can't justify that with a number of them. As I said, I think for the most part, it goes without saying these horses are in the sale for a reason. They'll do somebody some good somewhere, but not us. And especially now when we have yearlings, we're looking at going to yearling sales. And it's important that our horses are racing where they can do. Always, but very important right now. And when we look, and the measuring stick is simple. You tell me where I can win a class with these horses next week, and we'll keep them. If you can't tell me where I can win a class with them next week, then you have to come to the same conclusion that I just did. They need to go. So that's all those horses made it in the sale. Again, we had a great week at the races for the most part. Sure, we had some horses that raced okay. We had some horses that raced fantastic. Globetrotting, I drove her very hard out of the 8-hole. 4 wide going into the first turn, the first part of the first turn, cleared to the front, whacked it out, and got beat fair and square by one of the best fillies in the division. But this was the first time this filly had really been stretched hard. Yes, she won in 55, her first start of the year for Trace Tetrick, you know, out of the 9-hole, crossed over to the front quick, wasn't really in super tough. And that's not to take anything away from Trace, the filly, or the race, or anything like that. It's just the way it worked out. Next start, she made a break. She wasn't comfortable in Northfield. We started working closely on some issues she had. Her next start, I raced her rather easily. She finished 4th or 5th at Northfield. And then right after the race at Northfield, we chopped all the toes off her, started back from square one, gave us about 2.5 weeks to work with her, and then she raced great. Her last start, she was second, 4 wide in the last turn, that same turn that last time around, and closing in finished second. Again, the Burke filly ended up winning by, I don't know, a football field, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lengths, something like that. And then we have last week, Friday night, I raced her hard. Now she drew bad again. Somebody brought it to my attention. I think she raced 6 times. She drew the 4-hole once. Every other time was the last pill in the bottle. Now the 10-hole for one of them, which was trailing, but all the other races she ever raced at Scioto, 8-hole and 8-horse field, 8-hole and 8-horse field, 9. And, you know, I knew what was going to happen, right? The 2, the 5, and the 7 were going to leave. There were some horses in there that really didn't look like they belonged. And I was beat by one that I was surprised Beaver's horse was that good, but I guess it was her first start on Lazex, the filly that was second. I'm third, beat 2 lengths in 53 and 4 out of the 8-hole. Certainly nothing to complain about, but most importantly, Globetrotting's got a full state of Grand Circuit events all fall, and she's just now starting to get really, really good. Still not perfect. I thought that left hind ankle was bothering a little bit. It had bothered her a bit last year, so we're going to work on that. Her feet are getting better. Her knees feel good. She feels more confident. Didn't trot mechanically. If you go back and watch the race, she didn't trot perfectly, but she felt a lot better than she did even the week before. So I think Jason's got a real good handle on what's going on with this filly, and he's doing a great job with her, keeping her good, but letting her mature, grow, and stretch out. It's very important, and I think she's going to peak right at the stake final and heading into the fall, which is a big deal for us. Last night, I wasn't really surprised, but interested and very happy to watch Oso Pine win in 154 flat. For the people out there that, you know, believe that he just wasn't going to be as good since he left Carmen's barn, that was a lifetime mark, and he did it beating some very good horses. So obviously, you know that Jason McGinnis is here. He wasn't at Mohawk last night. Cindy Acton is his second trainer in the barn in Canada. and she has the horses there. And man, she's done a great job with Osopine, just keeping them good and having them race good. Cindy works really hard, takes a lot of pride in her work, and it showed last night. Osopine was very, very good. Need Your Opinion went an incredible mile this week. First over, winning 52-1. As I said, we're not always going to be right. Sometimes we're going to be wrong, but in these instances, we were absolutely right with Need Your Opinion. Great mile from her. Kevin has done a great job with her. Then you look here in Ohio, we got our 2-year-old fillies. Little bit of drama going into this week. I'm a Lovely Lady has to be first or second on Friday night, or she can't make the final. This is a filly that I believe is absolutely one of the best fillies in Ohio. I think if you go back and watch how she struggled without the hobbles on, I had trouble putting her in position. She made a break. We put the hobbles on her, raced her 4 days later in a little bull ring, then come back, raced her 4 days later. You know how hard that is on a horse? That's how tenacious this filly is. Come back in 4 days and was flying on the end of the mile, a track, and if I'm not mistaken, world record, but definitely track record. And she had lots of trot on the end of the mile. So I'm very... I'm on pins and needles too. You know, I believe we got a great shot to win the final with this filly, but we got to get in it. So a 1 or a 2 is all. That's nothing less than that, or we're not getting in the final with her. So My Jazz, I believe, is pretty much secured a position there in the final. So we'll have at least 2 horses racing for $300,000 on I guess what the super final night, the big night here. It's at Scioto. Now we'll just pause for 1 second. For the people that are here in this country that want to come out to super final night, the racetrack has simply asked me, just give me a list, a rough number of people and their names, so when they come to the gate, the grandstand's going to be closed off to the public, open to the owners. And we want to make sure we have as many people there as we can. I know we've had a number of people ask already. If you want to come out to the finals night, as of right now, we should have My Jazz, and guaranteed Globetrotting is in the final. I would love to add I'm a Lovely Lady to that list. And if we can, we'll have 3 horses in the finals that night. So a big night for us. If you're around the area, anywhere in the U.S., you want to come to Scioto Downs in Ohio, down in Columbus, just let me know, and we'll get your name on a list. And then Mama Knows Best. A lot of questions circulating Mama Knows Best. She trained fantastic the other day. A lot of people are like, well, why don't we go back and race her in the Sire Stakes? We could. I think I'd rather aim for the consolation with her. So, tight math. I'm going to give you the tight math. 2 Buckeyes left. It is feasibly possible, I'm told, to win both legs and make the final of the Buckeye. If we make the final of the Buckeye, we are still allowed to race in the consolation of the Sire Stakes, which she will likely make. She's sitting 13th right now, or 14th. It's unlikely somebody will bump her out of the consolation. Well, you'd have to have 5 somebodies bump her out of the consolation. So we're dealing with 1 that we would love to get in the final, 1 we would like to have in the consolation and in the Buckeye final. We tried to do this last year with Ailsund. It worked, but it didn't. She didn't win either. But Ailsund, I believe, Mama Knows Best, trained great the other day. We're looking at the $75,000 consolation and the $75,000 Buckeye final. That is what I'm looking at personally with Mama Knows Best. Then we'd Walk on the Moon. We actually had some people that were a little upset with Walk on the Moon's performance the other night, more particularly the way Mario drove him. I thought Mario drove the horse absolutely fantastic. There's a long, long year for Walk on the Moon. And I know when you're racing for 80, you're like, well, he should have been here, he should have been there. You weren't beating Macho Martini, so you weren't racing for 80. You were racing for 40. And to use this colt too aggressively the other night coming off the virus, I think would have been an error. It would have been a fool's errand. And I believe what Mario did was right. Horse was flying on the end of the mile. And it sets him up rather well for next week's Gold at Mohawk. So I've been very, very happy with Walk on the Moon. It looks like we found a spot. Now we snuck War We Welcome into the grassroots. By snuck, I want to mean that she hopefully will win. And if she does and looks great, we can head her back to the Golds. I was quite upfront with everybody the other day that I made a mistake. I didn't enter. Harry asked me to, and I forgot to enter. Tipsy and Dixie in the grassroots. It's my fault, nobody else's. So we entered her in the Gold. She drew the 9-hole on a track she took her lifetime mark at. If she gets away well, who knows? Maybe she'll get some money. Stranger things have happened. So that's all those. And then you look at the U.S. barns that we talked about. Jason, what about Tim Twaddle? He has been absolutely white hot the last 2 weeks with our horses, and has just done an absolutely tremendous job with these horses. But this is what happens when you put them in where they can win. Stonebridge Simba just continues to race really, really good at the Meadows. We sent him Bottle of Red and Arctic Force. They're both in to go this week. Sebastian Yu has been great. Now, Sebastian Yu, we didn't enter him in the 10,000 condition claimer because we were hoping to get him in the Nominers of 3 in preparation of the Stallion Series a week from Saturday. So we didn't enter him. The Nominers of 3 didn't go. Saturday, there's a 12.5 condition claimer. That's the step above. Now, Sebastian Yu goes for $19,000. And everybody's like, oh, I don't want to lose him. It's not like we're going to go out and jog in the Stallion Series. They're going to go 54, 55. There's no cakewalk. There's not like, oh, we just enter them in to go, and they're write us a check, and that's great. It doesn't work that way. So I've told Tim to go ahead and put him in the 12.5 condition claimer for next Saturday. His tag in that class is 12.5. $18,750 US, and they go for $6,500. So it's a good spot for him, and I think we should capitalize on the fact that Sebastian Yu is racing well. He's racing well right now, but if you've watched how I've driven him, pretty careful with Big Sebastian the last 2 weeks, so I want to get him on track. We talked about trying to teach these horses and allow them to learn. Unfortunately, a horse like I'll Play It Alone, we opted to give him some time, but he was learning. He was learning to be a horse. Just his last race, he can't pace 53 at the Meadows. So we get rid of him or we keep him. I opted to keep him because he's got 1 win and 12,000 made. He can make money in October, November, December. And all that time he's in those classes, he's worth more than we would have got for him right now. So financially speaking, it was I believe 100% the right move to make. And similar but different with Sebastian Yu. He's now learning to be a horse. It took a long time, but he's learning to be a horse. So I want to keep him in with horses he can beat. I think if we race him Saturday and he does well, then yeah, we can probably still look at going into the Stallion Series. But it's not like he's going to be 4 to 5, regardless of we take him out of a condition claimer, or anybody, if they claim him and put him in a condition, or put him in the Stallion Series. You're coming from a condition claimer into the Stallion Series. 10 to 1, 12 to 1. People don't like when you price their horses with condition claimers in the Stallion Series, and it's usually tough sledding. So, you look at a horse like Path of Totality, race great her last 2 starts. 52 and 2 or 52 and 3 in the Stallion Series 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. 55 the other day for the fillies. So the colts are likely poised for a 54 mile. We catch a light division, who knows what happens, but if you're going in thinking that you're going to if you're going in thinking it's going to be a win and geez, we got to protect them and head for the Stallion Series, I wouldn't do that. It's going to be tough sledding. So you're going to see next Saturday Arctic Force in, a couple other horses of Tim's, and Sebastian Yu in the 12.5, not the 10, the 12.5 condition claimer. So that's what we have on tap for this week coming. And then Friday, make no mistake, I talked about Monday, Tuesday, going to the yearling barns. Wednesday, we have a sale, and we have 5-6 horses in at Northfield Park on Wednesday evening. Friday, that's when all the stake horses are going to race. Thursday, I have to be in the Meadows in the morning. I told Tim I would qualify a couple of horses for him, maybe school one of ours. And then I was wrong about my tooth. I told you I was getting a root canal this week. No, it's next week. So Thursday afternoon should be in a fair amount of agony, so that's good. And then Friday we have all the babies racing Friday night at Columbus, and then Saturday back to the Meadows. So a full week again for me coming up. Most importantly, big start. The biggest start of the year for I'm a Lovely Lady will be this Friday. We need a 1-2, or we're not likely going to make the final. So that is it. That's the opening. I am going to talk about the sale, why we're putting these 6 horses in the sale. We will have reserves on the horses. I'm not giving horses away, and I don't think anybody should. If we don't sell them today, we'll sell them another day. But or Wednesday, sorry. We'll sell them another day, but at the same time, I'm not giving any of these horses away. They're still useful horses. They're just not what we need right now. So I'll describe why I put them in, what led to that decision, and then what lies ahead for a number of other horses. In that regard, I'll talk about the sales we have going on. We have a colt that we're looking at buying right now. If you're not a client of the stables, you don't know who that horse is. If you are a client of the stable.ca, then you've got an email about it this morning. I'm likely going to pull the trigger and purchase him this afternoon. So there's that. I want to talk about all the barns that are moving around. There's so many scratches in and out. Spirit of Dio looked poor last night. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Spirit of Dio did not look good last night. She scoped with some mucus and throat irritation, little ulcer on her palate. These aren't major concerns, but the overall mile wasn't a major concern. This is a filly that I won with 4 weeks ago, wrapped up with a snake cord on and an ear hood on her head, 53-2, and she looked like she was out of place last night. And as I said to our clients, I do have an exemption for quarantining, but Woodbine has put rules out, and I'm glad they did. And those rules are they'd like you not to go to the farm until you have a negative COVID test when entering Canada. That's fair. It's only fair. Problem is that can take 2, 3, 4 days to get there. And I really, to be honest, don't have time to go back to Canada, sit in my house for 4 days, wait for a negative test, and then go work on Spirit of Dio. So I can't get to her. She can get to me. She's on the first truck coming here from Toronto. We are going to miss the Casual Breeze. The way she raced last night, it's almost laughable, but you look back at her chart lines, her qualifier in her first race back this year, certainly a serious consideration. We're going to miss the Casual Breeze with her. We're going to prep her here. I'm going to work on her with Jason all week, ship her over to Tim. We're going to, right now, when we say ship her over, it's 4.5 hours from our farm, 5 maybe by truck, from our farm to Northfield. Not a big ship. That's the same distance from the East Coast trainers shipping out to the Meadows to race. Horses do it all the time. Not a big deal. The ship from Northfield Park to the Meadows, about 2.5 hours. Again, not a big deal. A little bit longer than our farm to Georgian Downs, or the same distance almost from our farm to Kawartha. So again, not a big deal. We'll ship her over to Tim. I believe if we get her squared away properly, her throat looks comfortable, she seems like she's mechanically right, we might be able to get 2 starts into her before the Simcoe. That's my plan with her right now, is to make the Simcoe, and then after the Simcoe, the Elegant Image is top 10 money earners, so it's unlikely we're going to get in there. They do offer a consolation for $37,000, so actually, now that I said it out loud, obviously we're not eligible, I would suspect it'll be the top 20 money earners. Those horses will race, and then 10 for the final, 10 for the consolation. So that's the way that'll work out. I suspect we're not eligible because we don't have that much money made. So that just leaves us the Pegasus and the Breeders' Crown. There may be some people say, Anthony, Breeders' Crown. Trust me when I tell you, this is a legit filly. She's strong, she's fast, she's a really, really nice horse. And if we can get her back on track, I suspect and hope we get a win or 2, hopefully out of her at the Meadows, and then send her back to Canada for the Simcoe. If whatever happens with the Simcoe, then we'll make a decision. You know, obviously it's not our decision to make when it comes to the Elegant Image, but after that we have as I said, the Pegasus and Breeders' Crown, and we will get to Indiana, I suspect and hope. There's no reason why we can't with this filly. There's no mechanical reason she can't make it. If she has some health issues right now, we'll work on those and get her back on track. But as I said, I know her, I like her, I get along real well with her. I can't come to her, so she's going to have to come to me. Anyway, that's it for the opening. I hope you guys are having a good week. I always say that, but I truly mean it. I hope everybody's having a good week. It was really uplifting to see so many people respond back from our request for information on the email we'd sent out regarding the sales, a survey email they would send out regarding the sales. Little different year for everybody, obviously a little different year for me, so I want to make sure we don't make any missteps and I don't overstretch myself. To do that, I need to hear from you, all our clients. Keep the emails coming. I'm writing down everybody that says, you know, I would like this type of horse, this is the amount of money I'm comfortable putting in. I've written that down, I've cataloged it, and very much appreciated. So that's it for the opening. Still lots to talk about. I'll be back in just a minute. Take care.